Hey, welcome everybody. It's Trash Talk again. Yeah, it must be Tuesday morning at 8 o'clock. Yeah, and the
Ugh, yeah.
coffee's brewing, right?
I'm so tired today.
I know, and you've already started with some coffee, and you're still not
I'm just
woken up
not,
yet.
man. I can't get ahead. I can't get ahead of the game. I am just fried over the last 3 weeks, man. Insane.
You're the definition of what? Three steps forward and five steps back.
I don't even know if I'm stepping anymore. I might be levitating. I might be floating. But anyway, quick shout out. Sorry, I got to interrupt. Quick shout out. I know this is airing later, but today, for those of you that don't know, we are actually recording this early because we're that good. I got to give a shout out to the entire crew at Red Zeppelin Records for Record Store Day. I hope it was a huge success, and I will see you guys later. That's all. Well, I will have already seen you guys, but I hope it's a good success. Love you guys. Anyway.
Cool. Well, I'm a champion of all these national days. National Chocolate Covered Raisin Day and Deep Dish Pizza Day and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And I think that's pretty cool. Whenever you fall across one of those and all, bring it to the show, and we'll wish everybody that. So everybody that still likes, is that for vinyl records?
Yeah, Record Store Day, we could probably do a show about this, but Record Store Day is such a cool thing because not only are you going out and supporting local record shops, but it's so many releases and limited releases and special releases. And the vinyl industry is huge. It's not dead.
Yeah.
It's grown.
It died for a while. It seemed like it was gone for a while. And then all of a sudden there were some people that said, no, I'm going to keep my albums. And now all of a sudden it's a kind of a resurgence. Are they still doing turntables with stylus needles and all, or is the new thing laser?
They do multiple. It all depends on what turntable you get. And I mean, you've got the collectors, you got the guys that have used turntables for a while, like myself, that you can go ahead and get a turntable that you've got to take that extra care of and all that. Yeah. They've got what I like to call dummy turntables for people that just, they like the idea of records, but they don't know much. Man, it's easy. Like, they don't scratch. Put a record on, play it. Some of them got the built-in speakers, which are okay. They're not the best.
Yeah.
And then they've got them where you can connect to Bluetooth. So you can connect to your Google Home or your Echo or something like that.
Turn it into a concert hall.
That's what I do. I used to have a really huge record collection back in the day. I probably had close to 500 vinyl records.
I did too. And unfortunately, I got rid of most of them, gave them away, whatever. And then all of a sudden I thought, man, I should have kept some of those.
I'm down to about 30 that I put on rotation that I listen to. And I probably got 100 is going to be an overreach, but I'll just close to 100 that I don't listen to. Just ones that I have that are, you're not going to find anymore. So I like it for the music. I like it for the collecting. And I just love the sound of a vinyl record. And those people at Red Zeppelin, those girls at Red Zeppelin in McKinney, Texas, phenomenal girls. They do a lot of cool stuff out there. So
cool.
That's my only plug. They didn't pay me to say it. I'm just saying it. But if you want to pay,
I'm just saying. Well, hey, if you're into records and hey, maybe you say, maybe I should open up a record shop. Maybe what you ought to do is contact our good friend Irving Chung, and maybe you can turn your idea of a record shop into a franchise and make millions and millions of dollars. Irving is a franchise specialist. He can help you if you're interested in franchising a business, and also if you want to buy a franchise and get into that business. So, hey, at your convenience, reach out. It's a free call and a free consultation. And who knows, maybe someday you'll end up being a multi-million-dollar record store owner.
Hey, whatever. Yeah.
It's happened before. Well, so anyway, people are looking at the screen saying, okay, you guys have been talking about records and that kind of good stuff, but what's with all the dogs behind you? Well,
or that guy.
That guy? I got diverted. Well, which is really easy for us.
It
You
is.
know, it can happen just like that. But we started talking about the neighborhoods. Now it's getting into spring, and you walk outside the door, and you just, oh, it's springtime. You smell the flowers, you smell the bluebonnets, and you smell the dog poop. You know, because it's everywhere. And
Mhm.
I've said before, I still have had a hard time figuring out how somebody can take their dog for a walk and the dog takes a dump about 3 feet from a potty station, you know, and just leave it there. You know, in the wintertime, it's not so bad. You know, if a dog poops in the winter, within about 5 minutes, it's frozen. You know,
It's a hockey puck. It's just sitting on top of the snow.
yeah, that's right.
A
And,
hockey
and I
puck.
feel I'm doing a service to those poor squirrels and animals that are stuck out there in the winter and got nothing to eat. So they're willing to go out there and grab up some of that poop. But come
Squirrels are smart.
springtime, man, when the temperature is like getting up to 80s and 90s, that poop going to sit there, and the only thing it's going to attract is flies.
It's disgusting. And you bring, I mean, it's so bad. It's one of my biggest complaints when I see dog owners, because like kids, some people shouldn't have dogs, you know.
You know, you're absolutely right.
They get the idea that they got this cute little fun. I'm going to take it for a walk, take my selfie with my dog. But they don't realize that this dog needs care. And some of that care is cleaning up after its poop. You know, I mean, for
And that
God's
hair is blowing around, and people that have allergies are sucking it in.
it's bad. Well, and you know how windy it's been lately in Texas. So you just get that wind gulf like coming out of feces, you know, it's great.
Yeah. I think my biggest pet peeve, and I think the worst invention ever, was the doggy door.
You think so?
Yeah, you know, people who are just too damn lazy to put a leash on their dog and take them for a nice walk and get a little exercise themselves. They install this doggy door, and that way the dog can just go out into the yard whenever it wants. Well, what does it do? It goes out in the yard and it barks and barks and barks and barks. And anybody else that walks past the house, they hear it, they smell it, they bark, and the
Yeah.
homeowner is just completely oblivious to it. And so the neighbors have got to put up with the barking dog because somebody put. Hey, wait, you got to see this. Just a minute.
Well, I don't have a dog, so what's that?
Well,
What is it's a dog?
speaking of dogs, this one just came in to see me. Hi,
Totally
Shayna.
totally looks thrilled to be on the show right now.
Well, she heard me say something about the dogs and barking and everything and thought, okay, maybe I'll
You
go
know
see
what?
them.
Wait, I had a dog earlier this morning, but I kicked her out through the doggy door around 5 a.m.
You put in just a little larger doggy door so the dogs can get in and out easier.
Large. I am kind of snooty, but yeah.
And you leave a little bowl of water right there by the door
Right,
so they can
little
get a drink
bowl,
before they leave.
Right, get her a treat. Anyway,
Yeah, help yourself to a drink. Yeah, then come on over here.
the poop thing is ridiculous. So I've noticed a massive increase in lazy dog owners where I live. There's actually two doors down from me, this woman who I can't stand at all. She's got a little dog, and I don't know what type it is. I just call him a little yipper dog, you know?
Yeah.
Just a dog that's going to bark and just, I don't know, just bug the crap out of me, you know? It's not even cute either. It's kind of ugly.
And it's those
But-
little dogs that think they're German shepherds.
And you every time you walk by, they curse you out. They just yell at you, bark at you. And so she takes it out. And she's one of these women, I'm going to tell you right now, she's one of these women that's, please look at me when I work out at the gym. She probably doesn't really work out. She probably just stands there. A lot of extra work done on certain areas of herself. She likes herself. So she takes the dog out. I've seen it poop everywhere, sidewalk, street, and she just walks right over it. Just walks.
Well, I think maybe because if she bent down or something, it might undo a
Right.
a tuck or something there.
something might fall out.
Or
Um,
crack.
but I've heard people yell at her too. I've heard people, I literally saw this guy who was walking his own dog, and I was in the garage cleaning, doing some stuff, and I heard the dog barking, and I'm like, oh my God. And I look out, and this dog dropped it right in the street. Guy walks by and he goes, hey, you forgetting something? And she just looked at him. She's like, no. Like, I don't want to accidentally step in your dog crap. Plus, it's gross. There's bags everywhere. There's stations everywhere. They make it really easy. Not to mention, you know, dog poop does carry like germs and disease and like, yeah, it's I can't hear you at all. I don't know what's happening, but
Am I there?
you're
I
there.
am. Yeah.
Stuart was yelling. We had to mute him.
I paused myself. My whole life
Yeah, I
was
was
put
like,
on
he's
pause.
upset.
It's just like the dog parks. You know, I mean, why? I don't understand why people go to dog parks. I mean,
You don't take your dog there?
why put your no. Yeah, I mean, my dog is friendly with other dogs, but more or less on a one-on-one. But to run around loose in a dog park and all, they say it's for exercise and all. But you know, man, you're putting your dog at risk with some other dog that may be a little bit more aggressive.
You got to have that respect, and then it goes back to the owner. You know, there are some owners. There's a buddy of mine that he won't take his dog to a dog park. It's not that like if I come over his house
Yeah,
or my son goes to his house, the dog's great. He gets too excited and he's too strong. He is a strong dog, and his playing could really hurt another dog. He won't do that to a human being, but dogs, it's a different level.
right.
And chaotic. It's chaotic at a dog park. I can understand a dog park in a big city because you don't have a lot of space. But again, you gotta have that dog on a leash. You gotta be taking care of that, and you gotta know your animal.
Well, see, in a dog park, the idea is you only leash your dog until you get into the park. You close the gate and you unleash your dog and let it run. I can
Right.
understand it, but you have to train that dog before you go into that dog park. So just in case there's another dog, you've got a whistle, a particular call, and your dog will immediately come back to you. And
Yes.
people do it just well, you know, I got this maniac dog. I'll just take it down to the dog park and let it run itself into the ground, then take it home and it'll sleep all day.
They do the same thing with kids at the park. Trust me.
My wife does the same thing with me.
Well, that makes sense. Except she's been trying to drop you off at the park for the last 10 years.
Right. Yeah, I've put on a little bit of weight, so she had to make a little larger doggy door.
Right. I went to a place a couple times, and I think it's at that weird border of like Louisville and the Colony and weird. It's I don't know what it's called, but I think it's like Austin Ranch or something like that. I don't know. Don't ask me, but it's called the Shacks, and it's literally looks like a bunch of shacks, and they've got different like food stalls in there.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a huge dog park behind it that's connected
Yes.
to that place is amazing. And I took Luke, not to the dog park, but although he did like hanging out there, but I took him and I was watching the owners there. And I got to tell you, from the staff, from the owners, they were making sure that like when they saw somebody, oh, now I disappear. What's going on this morning? They made somebody put on a leash because the guy was just walking his dog into the dog park without a leash. And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
you have to have a leash.
I've been to that park. In fact, it's two parks because it's split it in half, and one half is like for dogs under 30 pounds and
Yes.
and the other side is for over 30 pounds.
It's a good park. I really enjoy.
Yeah.
I had fun too because here I am drinking a cappuccino. Luke's playing on the play, like they have a little playground area. He just got done eating, and then they had live music. Like it was just such a really cool vibe there. But
Yeah.
I think it's cool that they're doing more and more stuff like that for animal owners. I really do.
Yeah. And there's, now that we're getting into the warmer weather and everything, a lot of restaurants have outdoor dining and all, and they allow pets there too, as long as they are leashed and under control. So your dog can come in with you and sit. They'll even provide a bowl of water and all, and that's a pretty cool thing to do.
A lot of the local breweries are big supporters of animals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they'll do a lot of events with dogs. So you can go to a brewery and they're outside drinking beer, hanging out with the dogs. It's a couple of the breweries actually made dog beer for the dogs. Obviously, there's no real alcohol. But it's all stuff for dogs to make them feel better and have fun. There's actually a food truck, a dog food truck.
Really?
Yeah, it's really cool. And it's all treats and food, but it's all like, I mean, organic and healthy. And then the cool thing is, if you want to get your dog groomed, they'll groom it while you're drinking a beer.
Yep.
I think it's
I
cool.
mean, that's a big business in itself, is mobile dog groomers that
Huge.
come to your house, just park in the driveway, and all you put the dog in there, they groom it and everything, and they take off. Makes it a lot easier. You don't have to drop the dog off and go pick them up. And that's pretty cool. Yeah. My background here, I got a kick out of it because, I've seen on TV every once in a while, they talk about people that look like their dogs, like
Yes.
this guy over here on the right. I mean, that's, and you always see, you were talking earlier about the woman that's got the big frizzy hair. She's always
Yeah.
walking a poodle.
Always. Like,
You know?
is there something to that? There's got to be something to that, right?
Yeah,
There's got to
yeah.
be some
Or you get the somebody that's got like the Tina Turner hair or something that's got a little Shih Tzu, and then people that love to dress up there. I mean, I have to admit, in the wintertime, or rain, I do have a raincoat for my dog, and I have sweaters for the dog to keep her warm. And sometimes people think I'm a little bit crazy. My wife thinks I'm a little bit crazy.
We all think that.
Yeah, well, yes, and you're all 100% right. But I mean, it just kind of goes with, people don't do that with cats. I mean, cats just, they go wherever they want anyway.
Yeah.
But I always say, if I ever come back again, if I'm ever reincarnated, I want to be reincarnated as a poodle, a male poodle. You know what?
Why?
You know why?
No.
Because they breed them with everything. I mean, you got golden doodles. You got they'll crossbreed a poodle with a Shih Tzu.
Where it's like, I just want to come back as a dog hoe.
Yeah, that's like my dog's breed is a cockapoo. It's a cocker spaniel and a poodle. Although I like to say she's a cockerdoodle, but
it's too early for this. I can't do it.
I mean, they breed poodles with anything. And I thought, man, that's got to be a great gig.
Not really. They just put them in, they line them up and just.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going down to the dog park. I'm going to find myself a bulldog, and I'm going to be a bull doodle or something like that.
Hilarious. Have you always, I don't know if you and I talked about this or not. Have you always had dogs, like growing up and stuff, or?
When I was growing up, I did. Yeah. And then finally, when the kids were off to college, the last dog died, and we went like 15 years between dogs.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I grew up, we always had a dog. I mean, everybody had a dog. And when I was a kid, that was one of the things. You used to go out in the morning before school, and you'd walk your dog, and you'd see all your buddies out there walking their dogs.
I never had a dog.
Take the dog home and say, okay, I'll see you at school.
Yeah, I didn't have one growing up. My parents didn't really like animals that much. I think as they got older, they did. It wasn't that they didn't like animals. I think they just don't want to deal with it.
Well, it was an extra expense.
Definitely. But they only had one kid forever. Like, give me a break.
Yeah. I got a neighbor around the corner that's got a Great Dane. I mean, they must have a tremendous food bill.
I love those dogs, though. Yeah. I love those dogs.
Oh, Luke would love this dog because this thing is the size of a horse.
Yeah, and they're, you know what they are? They're the size of a horse, and they've got the demeanor of a little calm puppy. Like, they are the best. Actually, we saw one the other day. We went to somewhere in Frisco, and a girl was walking one, and I was like, man, I love that dog. She's like, yeah, he's 6 months old.
Wait a minute.
And he's
The girl was walking the dog, or the dog was walking the girl?
might have been both. I don't know. I was watching both. That's all I know. And so Luke and I stopped to go talk to the dog and the girl, and he was petting it, and that dog immediately just laid down and like, because Luke was a little, like, whoa. But
Yeah.
those Great Danes are beautiful and they're so good. But the problem is they just don't live long.
Yeah.
That's sad, man. I wouldn't want to see that.
Yeah. And I mean, there's some people that if they like the breed, they just get one after another.
They're just so expensive too. I did have a dog later in life. I had to give it away. Well, I don't think I had to give it away, but we're not going to go into that conversation. I'm still sore about that from like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. It's one of those things I haven't let go. I probably won't either. But my dog is doing fine. Like, I see pictures of him. I know who has him. He is living the lap of luck. Like, he is, I mean, he's spoiled beyond anything I've ever done. And I did a lot, but he was cool. And he was like a Shih Tzu mix.
With what, a poodle?
I don't know. I went, short story. I went to a party, and the guy's house that we're at, he was going to be a cop. He was a cop, but he was going to be in the canine unit, and he had to bring his dog home, and while he was training, he couldn't have another dog in the house. So they were going to get rid of him. Well, I spent the night there because I couldn't drive. And this dog just slept in the bed with me. And I woke up and I was like, I'm taking your dog home. And they were like, take him. We would rather have him go to you than anybody else. So I took him home, and he just became my little buddy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know what he was mixed with, but it was a Shih Tzu mix. Great dog, though. Great dog. Didn't bark. Awesome.
Yeah. I think a poodle and a Shih Tzu is called a poo shits.
I think he was a shithead.
Well, and a schnauzer and a poodle, that's a schnoodle. I mean,
I can't take that seriously.
the word they come up, and the more I see all of these crossbreeds, the more I want to become a poodle in my next life.
Hey, what do you do when your dogs go on vacation? You don't board them? You take what do you do?
No, we just went away a week or so ago, and all we have this lovely woman comes in and stays at the house and
Nice.
just keeps the dog on its routine. I mean, there's some dogs that just love going to the breeders and everything because they're around other dogs, and they also let them out in the yard and let them run around. My dog's too much of a lap dog and all. And sometimes when we go away, we just take her with us, just go on a road trip. Most of there's lots of dog friendly motels across the country too. They allow them.
Well, especially nowadays. Nowadays, a lot of them have changed that way because they're still recovering from the business aspect that they lost.
Yeah.
I used to take mine. His name was Chewy, and I used to take him. We would take him camping. He loved it. He just sit in the car and chill, on some lap somewhere. The only time I ever put him somewhere overnight was when I got married. That was it. It was one night. Otherwise, I'd take him with us, or I'd have somebody come to the house. That's it.
I mean, that's the fair thing to do to the dogs. Well,
yeah, it was great. I know I'm going to get a dog one day. I know it's going to happen. Like I said before, my son.
I don't think it's going to be your decision. I think it's going to be Luke's.
Yeah. My son's obsessed with an old dog, an old big dog. He's been focused. He said, I'm going to get Sleepy Dog. And I'm like, what is Sleepy Dog? He's like, that's his name. And I'm like, well, I already like this dog. Okay.
Yeah.
But he wants an old dog that's big, that's sleep. I think because he got obsessed with this farm dog that he met. And it was an old, big farm dog. And it was great. Just hung out with us. But I'm like, good God, you know what happens if they get older, buddy? Like,
yeah. the result is not necessarily good for a youngster unless you're ready to go out and get another one right away. Or as an older dog, I think it's a good idea that if you really like dogs, want to always have dogs around kids. As you get an older dog that starts to get a little sickly, maybe a little arthritic and all, it's a good idea to bring a puppy in at that time. That will keep the older dog a little bit younger, and also it's a much better transition when the older dog passes.
I think that's my biggest problem too, is, man, I don't want to deal with the passing of an animal. Like, I have my cat right now, and he's been around for 10 and a half years.
Yeah.
He's great. I mean, he's got a couple issues, but nothing big. We got him worked out. He had some real bad allergy problems. It was awful. But I changed his food, and all of a sudden it's like, he's perfect. Like ridiculous. He's great with the kid. He's great with Luke. Always been great with Luke. He used to sleep by Luke's door when he was a baby. And then when Luke got up, he would and when Luke's upset or sick, that cat's curled up right next to him, which is kind of unusual for a cat, because you normally be like, get out of here.
Yeah.
So when that one goes, I'm like, dude, I don't want to find another one and go through the process again. It's like a wife. I don't want to find another one and go through that process again. It's, at least the cat I can, clean up after it pretty relatively cheap. With a wife to clean up, it's thousands of dollars afterwards,
That's right. And it never stops.
Uh-uh.
And they live to be 120. And the alimony keeps going.
God, I know.
Well, all right. Well, we'll run off. We'll try and decide what we're going to talk about next week. And all. I got to go walk the dog right now because I like dogs.
That's it.
Catch you
Dogs.
next time.